Hidden within the realm of infectious diseases lies a menacing adversary known as tetanus, a silent yet deadly foe that strikes with relentless ferocity. Often referred to as the grinning death, tetanus has earned its ominous nickname due to the distinct and eerie symptom that accompanies its victims, a grimacing, involuntary smile. The nickname the grinning death not only captured the haunting physical manifestation of tetanus, but also reflects the sinister nature of this disease. Without timely intervention, the relentless progression of tetanus can suffocate its victims, paralyzing their respiratory muscles and leading to a fatal outcome. Beware the grinning death that lurks in the shadows. Stay vigilant. Make yourself and your loved one educated about tetanus to ensure a future free from the haunting grip of the Tetanus is caused by the bacterium Clostridium tetani, which thrives in environments devoid of oxygen, such as deep wounds or punctures. This insidious microorganism releases a potent neurotoxin that infiltrates the nervous system, wreaking havoc on the body's delicate balance. Once inside, the toxin launches a full-scale assault on the nerves, leading to excruciating muscle contractions and spasms. The muscles, typically those in the jaw and neck, become locked in a nightmarish embrace, contorting the face into an unsettling grin that belies the agony experienced by the afflicted individual. Those cursed with this disease may have the following signs and symptoms: jaw cramping, sudden involuntary muscle spasms, often in the stomach, painful muscle stiffness all over the body, trouble swallowing, seizures such as jerking or staring, headache, fever and sweating, and also changes in the blood pressure and heart rate.
Assalamualaikum, I'm Atira Zulaika. So I will continue on the next part, which is who are at risk of having this tetanus. Okay, so usually people who will be at risk getting this infection is people who have never received a tetanus vaccine or did not keep up to date on their 10-year booster shots, all the age among 60 years and above, people with intravenous drug use, a history of immunosuppressions, infected skin lesions in people living with diabetes, and also if having an infected umbilical cord when a mother isn't fully vaccinated. So basically, in order to make a diagnosis for this type of infections, the doctor will asking about the recent history of cuts, scrapes, punctures, and trauma, and also will examining the certain signs and symptoms. And please note that actually there are no hospital lab tests that can confirm tetanus. Okay. Next, let's proceed with the treatments for these infections. Okay, so the first one is, of course, evaluations and care in the hospital. If these infections need an immediate treatment, it can be treated with a medicine called human tetanus immunoglobulin (TIG). Next is aggressive wound care, drugs to control muscle spasm, and also it can be treated by using antibiotics since this infection is caused by bacteria called Clostridium tetani. So, in this case, vaccination is an important thing to take note as the prevalence. So basically, here we can see there are various types of tetanus vaccines to be given to different age of groups, such as for children, adult, and also for the pregnant woman. So vaccinations for children, the tetanus vaccine that is given to children is known as DTaP, which is a part of the diphtheria, tetanus toxoids, and acellular pertussis vaccines. The DTaP is a series of 5 shots typically given in the arms or thigh to children at age 2 months, 4 months, 6 months, 15 to 18 months, and 4 to 6 years. Children who do not tolerate the pertussis vaccines may receive the alternative vaccine called DT. And a booster shot is recommended for children at age 11 or 12. This booster is called the Tdap vaccine. The next is vaccinations for adults. A booster shot is recommended for adults once every 10 years. This may be one of 2 vaccines, either Tdap or Td. And the last one is vaccinations during pregnancy. A booster that is recommended during the 3rd trimester of pregnancy is called Tdap. It is recommended Tdap during the early part of gestation with 27 to 36 in order to maximize passive antibody transfer and protections at birth, not for safety concern. So that's all from my part. I will pass to the next presenter to continue our presentations. Thank you.
Next, we continue to the part B, which is the outbreak of tetanus. This is the example of event of outbreak that happened in the EU or EEA. This is the graph distribution of tetanus causes per 100,000 population by the age and gender EU EEA 2018. According to the report in 2018, persons aged 65 years or older were most affected by the tetanus, accounting for 75% of all reported cases. The age group of 55 to 64 years had 14 reported cases, while the age group of 25 to 54 years had 7 reported cases, and the age group of 5 to 24 years had 2 reported cases, and more than two-thirds of the reported cases were women, which is 68.5%, but men were more frequently reported in the younger age group of 25 to 54 and 55 to 64 years. Among those aged 65 years or older, 54 cases were reported among women and 15 among men. The overall female to male ratio was 1 to 0.4. These are the 6 chains of infection that can lead to a tetanus outbreak. First is infectious agent. The Clostridium tetani bacterium is the infectious agent that causes the tetanus. The bacterium produces toxin that attacks the nervous system and can cause muscle stiffness and spasms, as well as other symptoms associated with tetanus. Second is reservoir. The bacterium that causes tetanus is commonly found in soil, dust, and animal feces. These are all potential reservoirs for the bacterium. Third is portal of exit. The portal of exit for the tetanus bacterium is typically a wound or cut on the skin. When an individual is exposed to the bacterium through a wound or cut, the bacteria can enter the body and causes the infection. Fourth is the modes of transmission. The bacteria that causes tetanus are typically transmitted through the contact with the contaminated soils or objects such as rusty nails or other sharp objects. These bacteria can also be transmitted through the animal bites or scratches. Fifth is portal of entry. Once the bacteria enter the body through a wound or cut, they can travel through the bloodstream to various parts of the body, including the nervous system. And lastly, susceptible hosts. Individuals who have not been immunized against tetanus are at higher risk of developing the infection. Additionally, individuals with weakened immune system, such as the elderly or those with chronic illnesses, are also more susceptible to the infection.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I am Alia. I will continue the presentation with the infection preventions to break the chain of infection in event of outbreak. As previously stated by another speaker, tetanus cannot be transmitted from one person to another. In order to break the chain of infection, it is necessary to consider 5 stages of the infection prevention. First is stop at the source, block the proteases, interrupt the mode of transportation, protect the portal entry, and boost host defense. To prevent the tetanus infection, it is necessary to first identify the source of infection, which has already been described by Sister Afaf. Tetanus typically are found in the soil, dust, and manure. Therefore, we must take the following steps to prevent the spread of tetanus from the source. First, eliminate the source of tetanus through proper waste disposal and environmental cleanliness. Next, promote the proper hygiene by washing hands with water and soap before and after come into contact with contaminated soil, dust, and manure. Next, we must block the portal axis of tetanus in order to prevent its spread. As previously explained by Sister Afaf, this infection is transmitted through open wound. Thus, we must prevent it by practicing proper wound care by thoroughly cleansing and applying the antibacterial medication to the wound. Replace the bandage after cleaning and cleanse the hands to avoid introducing a tetanus spore. The following measure to stop the spread of infection is to interrupt the mode of transportation by promote immunization since DTaP and Tdap are already available as tetanus vaccine. We need to give awareness to the community about this vaccine by making the platform accessible to community such as websites and community workshop where that platform explain the importance of vaccine and the location to obtain this. In addition, we must prevent the tetanus infection from invading the body by promote the proper wound protection by keeping the wounds clean using the appropriate medication to treat it and adhere to the good hygiene practice when treating this wound. And also provide the protective gear such as glove and footwear to the individual who works in the high-risk environment and are constantly exposed to contaminated soil, dust, and manure in order to reduce their risk to getting tetanus. Last but not least, we must strengthen the host immune system against the infection by promote the healthy diet by consuming abundance of vegetable and fruits to maintain the homeostasis of immune system. Next, regular promote moderate intensity exercise to assess the immune cell in detecting and responding to the infection more effectively. Lastly, encourage the individual to seek medical attention if they exhibit symptoms of tetanus infection or believe they might have been exposed to it. To sum up, by implementing this step, it can help to break the chain of infection as well as prevent the spreading of tetanus infection. That's all for me. I will pass to the next presenter.
In conclusion, tetanus is a serious disease of the nervous system caused by a toxin-producing bacterium, which is Clostridium tetani. If left untreated, tetanus can be life-threatening, especially if respiratory muscles are affected. But yearly intervention and proper medical care, including prompt care, vaccination, administration of tetanus, immunoglobulin, and antibiotic, the disease can be effectively managed. Prevention of tetanus is primarily achieved through vaccination. Routine immunization with the vaccine is recommended during childhood, with booster dose recommended every 10 years throughout adulthood. If you are suspect, you have been exposed to tetanus or are experiencing symptoms, it is crucial to seek immediate medical attention. A healthcare professional can evaluate your condition, provide appropriate treatment, and determine if additional measures such as tetanus booster are necessary. Next, for Islamic perspective, Islam emphasizes to prioritize health, placing it in second in importance to faith. In regards to the vaccination issue, there is a huge debate whether the vaccine is permitted or not in Islam. In Islam, we are told to protect and value our life as a very precious thing. In a hadith, the Prophet quotes that there is no disease that Allah has created except that He also has created its treatment, Sahih al-Bukhari. Therefore, vaccination is highly recommended to protect life as it prevents us from getting dangerous disease rather than having to have the disease first and find the cure. That's all from us. Thank you.